The National Funeral Practitioners Association of South Africa says it will donate full funerals to some families affected by the KZN floods. To date, at least 440 people have died in the disaster in the province. 60 others are still missing. This past weekend, the association had already begun helping various families lay their loved ones to rest. For more on this, we're joined by the association's president, Muzi Hlengwa, who joins us via our video link this morning. Muzi, it's great to have you with us on the program. Especially to talk about what is an incredibly heartfelt donation from you and various other organizations to help the families in KZN at what is certainly the worst time of their lives. Tell us more about your intervention.
Good morning to you, and good morning to your viewers at home. We are trying our best to make sure that our people do find closure in times like this. This Sunday we buried 4 members of the same family, a family of Ntlangulela in Guamchachi, a small village somewhere in Ndwedwe near Verelem. We had donated the full funeral, and one would like to also thank Ayanda Ngwane, the wife of the late Sfiso Ngwane, who had sponsored with the tent where the funeral service was held.
Mm. So when you say full funeral, Muzi, what does that entail?
It's the full funeral with the transportation, storage of the bodies, you know, your flowers, your program, everything that is required in the funeral. Even at the grave, you know, we had a grave set up. Your normal funeral that you will pay maybe a value of 50 to 70,000 for. This is what we have donated for that family. We also assisted with food for those who were attending. As I've said, there were other members of the community who had came through and donated. We are not only donating funerals, you know, we also visit families where they are destitute and they have nothing. We also are giving out food parcels, clothing, anything that is required at the point in time. As the National Funeral Practitioners Association of South Africa, we are coming through. But our main worry here is that at the times like this, you know that there is a Patrice Motsepe Foundation that has came through in order to give to those who have lost their loved one. They pledged an amount of 20,000 rand per funeral. But what we are finding, and what is more disturbing, is that there are some councillors and some government officials that are in fact interfering with the process, you know, so that they would make a little bit of money. They are now appointing undertakers of their preference for them to get kickbacks. But all I'm here for today is to thank the members of the National Funeral Practitioners Association and the members of the community that are coming through. Indeed, in KZN, we are mourning, but the floods that we have experienced have indeed revived a spirit of Ubuntu in our province. We are not only stopping with this one. This is surely the first or second one that we have been conducting. There are still other funerals to come. We are focusing on families that have lost a chunk number of people. Like as we say in this one, it's 4 people who died at the same time. We couldn't afford to have a family that has lost 4 people and waiting for weeks and weeks to bury. The head of the family, being the mother, who is 54, had passed on, and a daughter who was 34. We also had a 8-year-old and a 6-month-old baby who also had passed on. So we are saying to members of the community, they mustn't just wait for this Patrice Motsepe intervention for them to close the chapter. They can come to us. We're doing the same work, even if not more, what then the other intervention will give to them. We want to
Muzi,
assist
can I come in there, please?
our people to close the chapter.
Yeah, and it's wonderful work that you and other organizations are doing as well, but you have raised an incredibly important issue. And in fact, the President is in Parliament today to talk about exactly what you've just addressed, the issues around money that's coming through as a result of the KwaZulu-Natal disaster, that money goes where it needs to go. What you're bringing up now in terms of the money that's been donated in part by the Patrice Motsepe Foundation, that councillors are actually intervening in the flow of that money in terms of the service providers that are appointed. It's an incredibly serious issue. It's something that the President and Chapter 9 institutions as well are keeping an eye on, that our officials should not be making money from the disaster that's unfolding in KwaZulu-Natal. Are you taking these allegations and the evidence that you may have to officials in the province?
Look, it's a very worrying factor for us. One family has on its own went to eThekwini Metro to report the matter where a councillor was blocking their application simply because he is saying he wants a certain funeral undertaker to conduct the funeral, otherwise he will not assist them with the claims. Look, the matter and that particular family is very sensitive. The body that had passed on was found without a head. It's a worrying factor for a family, for them to be able to identify their beloved one. They had to undergo some procedures where the tests were conducted. And now, when they finally had identified that this body is theirs, because they can't see the face anymore because it's not there, and the councillor still comes in and say to them, if you don't bury with a so and so, I'm not going to assist you. This man is very insensitive. In a time like this, you still come in and you block the family. You want them to do whatever you want or whatever that will benefit you. We as an association, we had made a call earlier on. South Africa will remember that we have requested that there will be undertakers who will be coming in and taking chances, wanting to make money or score in times like this. And they won't be doing that alone. They will be working with government officials and government, and councillors. There is a SASA a department in Pinetown which is redirecting everyone who comes in to a certain funeral parlor. So now we can't have a situation whereby people become this insensitive and want to steal, even in times like this. You know, I've been saying over and over again, the time for them to steal is coming. Let them wait. They are still going to be issuing tenders, constructing the road and building the bridges and housing and all that. Let them steal there, not here. People want to bury their people. They want to bury their loved one. They want to close the chapter and find closure. You know, they want to move on with life. We are in a third week now after the incident that had happened. You will note that in our African culture, when you are mourning and still awaiting the funeral, people will be coming in and out of your home, and you are expected now to provide some drinks for such visitors. And these people that you are talking about are the poor, are the poorest of the poor. So we can't be now delaying them, blocking them, so that we can score money and get kickbacks from these undertakers.
Yeah, certainly. And I think, Muzi Hlengwa, our producers will have a discussion with you offline as we finish up our discussion here and get more detail about the very, very serious allegations that you're making. But thanks very much indeed for joining us. Muzi Hlengwa is the president of the National Funeral Practitioners of South Africa, joining us via Durban there, that institution, and a whole range of other donations also made in terms of helping people lay their loved ones to rest, but some serious allegations of officials using this as an opportunity to score, in his words.